So as we arrive here together, just take a moment to see if there's any wiggles in the body that you want to shake out, any stretches that the body's needing right now as we commit, as we set an intention to relative stillness. And when you feel like the body's ready to settle, go ahead and let's take a deep breath in together. And as you exhale, inviting the eyes to close or to turn the gaze downward with a unfocused gaze and to settle into your seat. Noticing the body making contact with whatever supports are beneath, chair, cushion. Maybe the body's in a reclined position. Sensing the body supported, sensing the spine long, supporting sitting if that's the position that you're in. And finding that position where the body can have ease, can relax, while also being alert and awake. So we give the body the signal, the message that we're not going to sleep just because we close the eyes and just because we're still, but rather we're going to use that relative stillness to facilitate perhaps increasing clarity and spaciousness in the mind and in the heart. Begin to sense the breath, sensing the breath moving in the body. And now the breath becomes an anchor, stabilizing our attention on the breath, on this movement of breath. Awareness of the body breathing. Awareness of the inhalation that invites us to say hello to ourselves, to welcome ourselves here, right here in this moment. Awareness of exhalations that invite us to let go and surrender with the breath any tension in the body, any gripping, any contraction. Inviting that ease with alertness and wakefulness. We might notice already that the mind has wandered away from the body breathing. And that's okay because that's what the mind does. The mind wanders. Sometimes it can feel like the monkey mind, jumping and flitting about. The mind is most useful when we bring our attention to what's happening in the mind. And most useful when it's anchored. Because the breath is always here, always. It never leaves us. It's the perfect anchor. We can't lose it, misplace it. The breath always shows up for us, even when we are lost, lost in thoughts, even when the mind is all over the place. And the moment we become aware that the mind has wandered away from the anchor of the breath rising, the breath falling away, we simply invite awareness of the breath again. Let's set an intention for our practice together. An intention can also serve to stabilize the mind, to be with our intention, perhaps to open our hearts a little more, opening to compassion, empathy, opening to common humanity. Perhaps an intention to touch into peace, or to clear the mind, to bring more ease into the body. perhaps an intention to hold any tender emotions with kindness. Once again, we can refresh to bring our attention again to this breath, to the body breathing. Each time the mind wanders into past, future memories, fantasies, and anticipations. This is our practice over and over and over again. When the mind wanders, we can bring curiosity. Where do we go? Where do our thoughts take us? Sometimes our thoughts can have sort of a trance-like power over us, where we believe our thoughts. There may be ruminating thoughts, persisting thoughts that urge, that are compelling. We can simply just notice that. And as we practice strengthening the habit that is less developed, returning again with presence to this moment. Awareness of breathing in and breathing out. In the words of Ralph Waldo Emerson, what lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. So, what lies before us is not here yet. Behind us, it's over. And so, our practice invites us to be with what is within. And so, we'll practice a body scan, another way to anchor our awareness in the present moment. We'll scan through the body, one part of the body at a time, and we'll rest our awareness there for a few breaths and experience what is it like to be with this part of the body at this moment. We can discover what we find. Sometimes we don't find anything. The body might feel numb in a certain part, or there may be tingling or contraction, squeezing, or vibrations. We might note the temperature or moisture. We might notice weight and pressure. So let's start with the feet, bringing awareness to the sensations that are occurring right now in the left and the right foot. Soles of the feet, tops of the feet, toes. If you're wearing footwear, you might notice the pressure, that little squeeze. We need not create a story about the feet. And if one comes up, we can just notice that. And simply come back to what are the sensations that are arising now. And let's breathe awareness now into the ankles, the lower legs, calves, shins. Noticing weight, volume, and maybe nothingness. Awareness of the knees, Any aches or pains, pressure, something else. Shifting awareness to the upper legs, tops of the thighs, backs of the thighs. This is often a very weighted part of the body with that large bone. Awareness of hips, the hip joint where the legs connect, and the pelvis. Awareness of sensations, the buttocks making contact with whatever support is beneath. Noticing any stories or thoughts about this part of the body, and simply breathing with any sensations. Awareness of the low abdomen, and sometimes in this part of the body, we might notice some gripping. We can simply breathe into any tight places, inviting greater ease. Awareness as we move left and right of the belly to the waistline and wrapping around all the way to the lumbar spine. Awareness and breathing with sensations. Awareness of the mid abdomen, stomach, lower rib cage. Wrapping awareness around to the sides of the ribs, the mid back of the ribs. And when the mind wanders off into thoughts, bringing that curiosity, where did the mind go? And practicing bringing awareness here again. Paying attention to what lies within. No tiny matter. Awareness of chest all the way around under the armpits and around to the upper back. In this mid part of the body, the torso that connects the head to our mobility, the legs and the pelvis, we can notice the movement of the whole torso, rib cage expanding and contracting. Three 360 degrees around. Front and the back of the body. Expanding away from each other, away from the midline. And then contracting on the exhale back towards the midline. Coming closer together. Anchoring the mind, the steadiness of breath. And perhaps noticing the breath expanding left and right. Sides of the body expanding away from each other. And on the exhale, coming back towards the midline. You might even notice the verticality of the breath. The bottom of the rib cage and the top of the rib cage moving away from the midline. Lower moving down, upper moving up. And then drawing together at the midline. Turning again to the breath as an anchor and how it moves in the body. Continuing with our body scan, moving to the shoulders. Noticing any weight, the weight of responsibility, the weight of worry, weight of regret. Just for now, we might choose to let that weight go, to fall down to the ground around us, knowing we can pick it back up at any time. Just for now, letting that weight fall away, inviting greater ease into the shoulders. Awareness of the arms, upper elbows, lower arms, feeling their weight, their volume, hands, fingers, thumbs, noticing temperature, moisture, vibrations, or nothingness. Shifting awareness now to the uppermost body, neck, throat, head, and face. Sensing any tension, contraction, paying particular attention to those places where we might know our habits of gripping, of tightening around the eyes, between brows, locking the jaw, gripping in the neck or throat. Breathing ease into this part of the body. Awareness of the whole body, everything connected. Breathing with. the whole body. Every breath, every movement in mindfulness brings us back to the present moment. Presence allows us to be aware of what is there and to take good care of ourselves from a place of choice, of calm, and of clarity. So we invoke these states of calm and clarity with our practice. Each time the monkey mind, the distracted mind, has wandered, we bring awareness to where we went, or maybe we don't. And we simply bring ourselves here again to this breath, to this breathing body. Practicing the practice that the Buddha gave us to steady the mind. So the mind can truly serve the heart, the body, and to serve our awakening to the awareness of what is here, arising now. So we'll practice in relative quiet, relative stillness. During these times of great challenge and turbulence, unpredictability, these times we live in, I offer this contemplation by Sophie Blackall. There is always something bright on the horizon, even if we have to squint to see it, even if we have to create it ourselves. Bringing awareness to what is arising now. Inviting awareness of the breath. Let's take a deep breath in together. Perhaps bringing hands to the heart center, one or both, as we end our time together with a very brief metta, loving kindness practice. Opening our hearts to ourselves, to our common humanity with all beings everywhere, including all that is on this earth that lives, the mountains, the streams, the winged ones, the swimmers, the crawlers, the creepers, the four-leggeds, the two-leggeds. May I and all beings everywhere be healthy and strong. May I and all beings everywhere be safe. May I and all beings everywhere be free of suffering. May I and all beings everywhere be at peace. Bringing our hands together in the gesture of prayer and bowing with gratitude to ourselves for showing up, for practicing in community, and bowing to each other. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you for sharing this practice with me.